As if fixing their reputation as consistent losers in the NFL wasn't enough, the Washington Redskins suddenly have a lot more on their plate. The ongoing debate on whether their nickname is a racist term or not has reached a boiling point. Native American individuals, tribes, and organizations have been questioning the use of the name and image for decades. Over 115 professional organizations representing civil rights, educational, athletic, and scientific experts have published resolutions or policies that state that the use of Native American names and symbols by non-native sports teams is a harmful form of ethnic stereotyping that promote misunderstanding and prejudice, which contributes to other problems faced by Native Americans. The Washington, D.C. football team is only one example of the larger controversy, but it receives the most public attention due to the name itself being defined as derogatory or insulting in modern dictionaries and the prominence of the team representing the nation's capital. I decided to go around campus to see how other people felt about the subject.
The Native Americans do have a point. The Redskins organization, they haven't done anything to support the Native Americans. They've gone through a lot of hardship, losing their territory in the northern parts mostly. Partially also, things aren't going their way in terms of like the government. There was an article that I read about Wisconsin that they're trying to actually make a casino, and they're wanting to take a portion of their land to build this casino, and it's just rightfully wrong. And I personally say that I do agree with them actually standing their ground and not letting this just pass by like if it was anything else.
In my opinion, I would say the Redskins name is kind of racist, considering like any other skin color, when you use the term to any other color, whether it be black, brown, yellow or something else, the same thing. The Redskins to the Native Americans. So it is kind of racist. Go Cowboys.
I think the Washington Redskins is a derogatory term, and it's racist because, think about it, Washington Hindus. What would people feel about that?
I'm a Redskins fan, and about the name change, I'm in between. First of all, because what the Redskins name actually means, found out from one of my previous classes that it means that the Native Americans, if you went to go capture the Native Americans back in the U.S. colony days and during that expansion period, that if you cut off the Native American skin while they were still alive, you peeled it back, that was the Redskin, that's what the Redskins name stands for. And nowadays, the Redskins with the football team is traditional. We've had the name for, like 80 years, I want to say, somewhere around there, and it's a long tradition. And I'm really a Redskins fan, and I love my team, but just the name change, it's like, I don't want to change the name, but I understand what people want to.
I'm actually a Redskins fan, and I'm indifferent about the topic. I think that they're making too big of a deal about the name. It's just a name. We have the Cowboys. There's so many other things, different names for different teams, but I think they should stop making such a big deal about it and just let it go. They're wasting a lot of money.
So I'm against the name change because I read an article one time that a lot of Native Americans find the name very appealing because it symbolizes a warrior, and it brings attention to the Native American culture. But what the main point of that article was that they should worry more about other things like poverty in the Native American culture, crimes, addictions. There's a lot of things going on besides worrying about the name change.
I think the fact that it bothers a lot of people should be enough for the Redskins to change their names. I think because a lot of Native Americans have come out and said that it personally offends them, and a lot of people don't know where actually the name Redskins comes from. So I don't know if, but I'm going to go on a tangent. So a long time ago, when people would come, people would go hunting, I believe. They would scalp the top of the Native American skin off, and they would use that as a trophy, and that's where the term Redskin comes from. So that's why a lot of Native Americans have an issue with the actual term Redskins. So in my opinion, Dan Schneider should get some balls and take the name off, just because it's the right thing to do.
I don't think it's intended to be racist. Okay, Like in the United States, in America, we've got freedom of speech and stuff like that, right? And yeah, a lot of things could be considered offensive to some people. Like me eating this chicken salad sandwich could be considered offensive to some people who are all about animal rights and stuff like that. But the point is, it's not intended to be offensive to anybody. Okay? What's the owner's name again? Dan Snyder. If Dan Snyder wants to change it, that's on him. But if he doesn't want to change it, it's also his right as an American citizen to have it be what it is. He's not deliberately offending anybody. So on those grounds, no, I don't think he should have to change the name. And yeah, it might be offensive to some Native Americans, but you could say the same thing about the Vikings, the Minnesota Vikings. I've got I have Scandinavian ancestors. That could be like a derogatory term towards Scandinavian people. You say, oh, they're Vikings, they're violent, stuff like that, right? But it's not. It's not intended to be offensive. So in that sense, I see them being as no more or less right or wrong.
So let me make a counter argument. What if there was a team called the Blackskins, and their logo was a black guy with cornrows and a do-rag? Would that be okay? Obviously, that would never be allowed to happen. But if it did, there would be an uproar. So why is it okay for a team to be called the Redskins and there be a picture of a stereotypical Native American man? It shows that people just don't have respect for Native Americans and we treat them like an extinct, irrelevant group of people. The sad truth is that Native Americans don't have a huge voice in this country, but that needs to change.